this is Tidra. Today I'm going to do an update on my weight loss surgery. Today is March 23rd, 2013, which is my Surgiversary. It's 1 year since I had my surgery. I had it last year on the 23rd of March. Let's see. Before, my highest weight was 327. The day of my surgery, I was 300. Well, I had a gastric bypass. My goal that I set for myself was 175 pounds, and that's what I weighed in high school. Let's see. Before the surgery, I was wearing a size 34 women's, or 5X, and I couldn't really do much of anything because I was in a lot of back pain all the time. I couldn't walk to the end of my driveway, take out the trash, without my back absolutely killing me and being out of breath. Trying to think if there's any. I really just couldn't do pretty much anything. I didn't fit in booths at restaurants. If we went out to eat, we had to get a table. I could not wear my seatbelt because I could not fasten it. I couldn't exercise to try and help lose weight because everything hurt too much or I got too out of breath. I only ate maybe twice a day. I ate at lunch and I ate at dinner, but I tended to snack a lot. And I never really ate breakfast. I tried for like a year before the surgery to be better about what I ate, as far as eating 3 meals a day and that sort of thing, but I wasn't very good at it. Because I have other issues like agoraphobia where I had trouble getting to the grocery store without having an anxiety attack. So I would eat on a good schedule and the right foods for usually about a 2-week period, because I'd go to the manage to get to the grocery store, I'd get about 2 weeks worth of food, the right stuff, and I'd eat it. But then when it ran out, it would take me a while before I could manage to get back to the grocery store or get up the nerve to ask my son to go get it for me, so that during that time frame I wasn't eating right. Anyway, so a year ago I had my surgery. This morning I weighed 175.4, so I'm 0.4 pounds away from the goal weight. Instead of wearing a 34, this past week got into a 14, which I haven't worn a 14 since middle school. So that was really nice. So I'm wearing a 14 pant and a medium top instead of 34 and 5X. I no longer have constant back pain. I do some, I'm almost 49 years old, so I do some mornings have back pain that's age-related and that sort of thing. But I do not have the constant back pain that I had before. And I can walk. I can do things now. I can ride my stationary bike without getting out of breath after 2 minutes. So I can do a lot more physically than I could do before. I know you want me to throw it, let go, and I will. I eat, I'm not really eating the 5 times a day anymore. I usually eat, I guess, probably 4 times a day now. I still can only eat small portions, which is fine. I think that's good. So I I had a small breakfast, a small lunch, a small dinner, and then a small something small around 7 at night. I have gotten back a little bit of, sorry about all the ums. I should have kind of written some of this down so I wasn't trying to think as I go. I do get the munchies sometimes now, which for a long time after the surgery, nothing really sounded good, tasted good, didn't really want kind of anything, and I had an alarm set so that I would eat when I was supposed to, because otherwise I just didn't think about it. But I don't buy a lot of things or most of the things that I used to buy, so when I get the munchies, it's not like there's a lot here that I can munch on. So I'll like go get a pickle or a cheese stick or something like that. Let's see, any drawbacks from the surgery? Well, I don't have as much padding, so I find that when I sit in one position for too long, my butt hurts. I get sore. So I have to kind of keep moving around, which that was not a problem before. I could sit as long as I wanted. Let's see. I get cold now. I used to always be hot all the time. Now I get cold a lot. I guess that's the no padding thing. There are a lot of foods that I can't really eat anymore. Anything that's too sweet, too sugary, or anything that's too greasy doesn't sit well. Anything that's too dense doesn't sit well. Anything that's too fibrous doesn't agree with me either. So there's a lot of things that I can't eat that I used to eat, that I used to enjoy, and I don't have all of the taste back yet. A lot of things still, they just don't taste good. I used to love tuna pre-surgery. I used to have tuna a lot. Now, when my dad makes the tuna, it's great. I don't know what it is he does. I can eat that. But when I make tuna the way I always made tuna, I don't like it. It doesn't taste good. After a bite, I just don't want it. So there's a lot of things that taste different that I don't really like anymore. And it's hard to shop. I tend to eat the same thing all the time just because I kind of know which things agree with me and which don't. And because most things don't really taste that great anymore, it's hard to kind of know what you want when you're at the store. But let's see, was it worth it? I guess that's the important thing that someone contemplating the surgery would want to know. Was it worth it? Absolutely, it was worth it. Yes, there's a lot of things I can't eat anymore, a lot of things that don't sit well, and I really have to kind of pay attention. But I can move, I don't get out of breath, I don't hurt all the time. I feel more comfortable in public because I'm not so big, I'm not so self-conscious. I'm not completely over the agoraphobia yet. I still have trouble with a lot of things, but I am doing better all the time. I do manage to do my own grocery shopping 95% of the time now. Yesterday I went into Best Buy by myself. I went into Michael's by myself. So I'm doing much better with that. I feel much more confident. It's not been easy. I know that a lot of people who don't have weight problems, and some people who do have weight problems, think that surgery is the easy way out, that a lap band or gastric bypass is almost cheating, that's easy, that anybody can do that. Well, yes, anybody can have the surgery, that's true, but it's not easy, and it's not successful if you don't do the other things that you're supposed to do. If you don't eat the way that your surgeon tells you to eat. Don't eat the things that your surgeon tells you to eat. Don't follow through with it. With the lap bands, you have to go back for adjustments a lot. And with the gastric bypass, if you eat more than you're supposed to, you can stretch your stomach back out. It's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. So if you're contemplating it and you think it's going to be an easy fix, then maybe it's not for you, because it's not easy. It's still hard work. It's hard to do. And you really do have to follow through with all the different parts of it. My understanding, the difference between the two is that a gastric bypass has a quicker drop off at the beginning and then slows down, whereas a lap band's kind of a slower, steady thing. I had the bypass, so I'm not real familiar with everything that goes with the lap band. But for me, it was definitely worth it. I had tried for, well, my entire adult life to lose weight, and what I found was I would lose 10 or 15 pounds but gain back 20 or 25, and that was kind of the cycle for my entire adult life. So for me, this worked. I don't know exactly why it's easier for me to follow through now than it was before. I know that in the pre-thing they said sometimes when you have the surgery it kind of changes a little bit in your brain, something that's going on there that kind of helps a little bit as far as the snacking all the time. I don't, other than every once in a while when I get the munchies, I don't really find the need to eat between. And of course now when I do eat between, it's some sort of protein or something that's good for me. But it's definitely worth it, but you do need to be aware that you do have to follow through. It's not an immediate fix, it's not an easy fix, but it is a doable fix. So if you're contemplating it, just talk real thoroughly with your surgeon about all the things that you'll have to do so that you really understand what's involved, because there was a lot more involved in it than I realized, and it's not been easy, but it is definitely worth it. So anyway, I said that over and over, so I'll stop doing that. So I guess that's really it. I just wanted to give an update of how it's been. I'm not, like I said, I've got 0.4 of a pound left to go. My current goal was to get there by my birthday. My birthday's next week, so hopefully it's looking pretty good that I'll get there. And that was my goal pre-surgery for myself. So a year out, I've kind of met my goal. So the surgeon said that most people continue to lose for about a year, sometimes a year and a half, up to a year and a half. So there's possibly another 6 months where I might lose some. Anything I lose from this point on, I'm counting as bonus weight. The charts do say that although most of the time I think those charts are nonsense because they're not really realistic and everybody's different. But according to the charts, for my bone density and my height, I should weigh about 150. So any additional weight that I lose, that would be another 25 pounds. Any additional weight that I lose, I'm going to consider bonus weight. And if I manage to get to the 150, great. If I don't, I'm perfectly content with where I am. I feel good. I do have, one thing I didn't mention, is a lot of times with these surgeries you end up with excess skin. And I do have excess skin. It's not large quantities. I have some around my middle that, actually I think if that excess skin were gone, I might even be able to get into a smaller size pan. Maybe a 12 if I didn't have kind of a roll of excess skin. But the 14s fit fine, and I like my shirts out, not in anyway. So I know it's there, but unless you saw me naked, you wouldn't necessarily know it was there. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. I do have a lot of excess skin under my arm. That does kind of bother me, But I just look for shirts that are kind of 3/4 length sleeves or elbow length sleeves, and then that doesn't seem to be a problem. I have some around my legs. I tend to wear long pants or longer dresses or skirts, so that's not really. So pretty much, I guess, if I don't have any clothes on, you can see the excess skin. If I am dressed, it's not really noticeable. So I don't think at my age that I'm gonna do anything about it. I think I'm just not gonna worry about it. My son, after he had his surgery, he lost a lot more than I did. He was a lot heavier to start than I was, and he was 484 when he started. He's down to like 212 now. So he had a lot of excess skin, and he's obviously a lot younger. So he has been going through the process of the surgeries to remove the excess skin. They're not done with those yet. There was a small complication, well, a big complication with the last surgery. Last surgery was November 1st, and the left side, left side hasn't, it's almost completely healed now, but there was a problem with it, and so it's taken a really long time to heal. And he's waiting for that to heal completely before he has the next surgery. I think there's 2, maybe 3 surgeries left. But I'm not going to worry about that right now, unless I start to have some sort of other problem related to it later, then I might think about it, but for now I'm not. And I guess that's it. So anybody else out there working on losing weight, whether through surgery or just on your own, just do the best you can each day. Don't worry about it when you have days that you mess up, because we all do, even those of us who had surgery have days where we don't do exactly what we're supposed to do. You just get back on it the next day and do the best that you can. That's all anybody can expect of you or ask of you. And I think most of us try to do the best we can anyway. So just do the best you can. If you have a bad day, don't beat yourself up about it, and just get back on it. I know that you're there. I guess that's it. So just have a good day. Don't forget to breathe. This is Tidra. Thanks.